Hello, this is Patrick with New Jersey's Outdoor Adventures YouTube channel. I'm here in Ocean Grove, New Jersey, beautiful Ocean Grove, hanging out my van for today, and I bumped into a very nice gentleman named Kenny. Kenny has a 2002 Xplorer van conversion. It's a camper van conversion, and he was nice enough. He's going to offer us a tour today. Hello, Kenny.
Hey, Patrick, how you doing?
I'm all right. So tell us a little bit about your van and how you're using it, and maybe show us around, outside and inside, if you have time.
I'd love to. Well, this is a 2002 Explorer, and I had a van before this. It was a Pleasure Way, but I had seen this on YouTube, and I had always been looking for one. When I got this one, it was in Arizona. I saw it on Craigslist, got it in Arizona, flew out the next day, picked it up, and drove it back. At the time when I first got it, it was from the desert. It was very dry, has no rust on it whatsoever, but it was in a desert and everything was really dry, so I had to really kind of enliven it and get it, get it working and oiled in a sense, and so I did have to kind of revive it in a lot of ways. One of the first things I did was that it had the graphics on it. I got rid of all the graphics, and which was kind of difficult, but I eventually got them all off, which I was happy to do. One of the reasons that I like this van, and I was interested in it, was it had the dually wheels in the back. From the experience that I had and from people that I had talked to about these things, these vehicles are generally very top heavy, and this thing always, anything I ever heard about it, reports and whatnot, with the dualies, it drove really well. And to my very happy to say that it really drives. It's a fantastic driving vehicle. You could drive around turns, you could go 80 miles an hour if you wanted to, and it's steady as a rock, which is really nice. So I'm very, very happy about that. And that was one of the selling points for me. The reason that I wanted to buy it was because it had that dually conversion in the back, and I had heard that it handled really well, and it was true. The engine is the Dodge, the 5.9 liter, which is a real nice engine. It's a monster of an engine. The thing just cranks out a lot of power. If you want, I could kind of bring you around and just give you an idea of what's happening on the outside of it.
Yeah, we really appreciate it. Our viewers are very interested in learning a little bit about this van and what features it has, and maybe a couple tips and maybe some modifications you've done to make it work better for you.
Well, the modifications that I've done are really just upkeep. It continually needs upkeep. One of the things that I got originally when I got it was the refrigerator was blown out, so I changed the refrigerator. So it's got a new refrigerator in it, which makes it a big difference with those three-way refrigerator. So that's one of the first things that I did to it. I changed the refrigerator. It's got an awning, which is really nice to have. That was another thing that I really wanted to have. It's not out. It's not out now, but it's when the sun is hot, it's really a good thing to have. This is the refrigerator here. Let me get my keys.
Sure. Those are just the outside vents we're looking at?
Yeah, these are just the outside vents for the refrigerator. It's all standard. It's all, this is the heater. This is the hot water heater. One of the other nice things about this is it has a storage area here, which actually comes out. You can pull this whole rack out.
Wow, you got a whole bike in there?
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
So, this comes all the way out. So I have a folding bike on there. I've got my tools in here, and it goes all the way back. And then there's a top compartment here that goes all the way through.
Oh, would you look at that? It goes all the way through?
Yeah, it goes all the way through. Yeah.
And does it pull out the other side too? Or is it just one side?
Is the generator.
Okay.
So, but it pulls out to about here.
Okay.
It's stuff now. I'd have to take stuff out to pull it out, so I'm not going to do that. But anyway, that's a nice thing to have.
And the water heater, what does that run? Is that gas or electric?
Yeah, it's gas, propane.
Gas, okay. And the heat as well?
Everything, yeah, propane and propane.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, it's a 2002 vehicle, so it doesn't. It's not. Some of the new vehicles obviously are going to go to electric. You know, they do the DC with the lithium batteries and the solar panels. This has a solar panel on it. It originally came with a solar panel, but it's a very small one. It's a 15-watt solar panel, which is my next thing that I'm going to do, is to put I'm thinking maybe 165-watt solar panel on there, or 100-watt. We talked about it today a little bit. But right now, that 15-watt solar panel with the 2 regular batteries that it has in there, on a sunny day like today, it recharges everything really nicely. Back here, obviously, it's got it's just another storage compartment.
And this is a fiberglass back to it.
Yeah, this has just got, you know, a lot of different stuff in it.
These are all utility items.
Utilities, you know, that kind of stuff. Backup camera. What they did was that they had, this is a Dodge 3500. So what they did was they cut it here, and then they added this part over here.
So overall, the length is?
It's 21 feet.
21 feet, okay.
And it's the maximum for a parking spot. If you want to park anywhere, this is the maximum that will be illegal to be into a parking spot.
And you can see where he's parked here, right in a regular parking lot. We're in Ocean Grove, right next to Asbury Park, and he fits right in. And you know, you look at my van over there, I fit right in too.
So obviously the air conditioning is up there. One of the nice things about this particular unit is it doesn't have a roof air conditioner like the regular RVs. It's got a regular house air conditioner inside. So one of the next things that I want to do, this air conditioner works fine, but you can get a modern, very efficient air conditioner and put it up there. And insert just like the regular window air conditioner.
Maybe some of our viewers are familiar with that on like a Road Track or Pleasure Way. They do something similar. They inset it into the roof.
Yeah, first of all, it's expensive. It has to go through the roof. It's inset into the roof, so there has to be a special, you know, mount made for it, so it goes through the roof, so you have the controls on the roof. This is when we go inside, you'll see it's mounted. It's flush mounted on the interior of the vehicle. And it's just a regular AC, which is nice. So if anything happens to it, you don't have to buy a very, very expensive unit, and it's readily available.
You could go to Costco or an appliance store and get one.
Yeah,
okay.
Which is cool. This here, as you can see, it's a 230 wide body. This is the generator here. So it's got a 4,000
Okay, 4,000 kW, that's gasoline. That runs on gasoline?
Yeah, this runs on gasoline. This runs off the fuel tank.
Well, that's a pretty big power plant for a small motorhome like this. I see most of them with like a 2,500 or 2,800.
Yeah, this'll do it.
When they designed this, they really thought it through, and you got some space above the generator?
It still goes through, yeah, which is nice. And usually generators are pretty loud from the interior, but this thing, because the bed is over here, it sits on top of it, so it kind of muffles the sound of the generator, which is nice. These are all your, outside electric. This is, your electric landlines.
So it looks like a 30 amp, 125 volt.
Yeah, 30 amp. This is also water, and this is water. If you're in an RV park, you can plug that in there.
And how many gallons of water can you hold for fresh water?
Well, what I do is, I don't live here. I have lived in this for 7 months.
Wow.
So I was on the road with it. But lately I've just been, coming out I live in Manhattan. So I've been coming out to the shore and hanging out here. I've been out here for 3 weeks. So I hold 25 gallons of fresh water, plus I have a 5-gallon reserve tank. So if I ever do run really low, I still have that 5-gallon reserve. So, and then I have, regular bottles of water and stuff. So I'm carrying about 35 gallons of water with me most of the time.
Do you find troublesome to get water out on the road, or if you're just traveling around?
I've been out on the road, and I've always figured out a way to get water.
Okay.
There's water, when you're on the road, and when you learn how to live in these things and to use them, what you'll do is you'll find your eye is keen on all of those areas where you think you may be able to find water. Like what I did when I was on the road, I would go to the beaches, and the beaches would have water around, and also I don't really drink the water because I don't have a real water filter. I have a water filter to put it in, but generally I'm just using water to wash dishes and to take a shower.
Okay.
That kind of thing. So I wasn't really always super concerned about the water content because I wasn't drinking out of it. So you can find water pretty much everywhere. You just got to keep an eye out for it. The beauty about this is the dually wheels. We talked about that, which is nice. Right. This is obviously the dump tank. So that's your valve for your dump.
So is it a combination gray-black tank?
It's a no. Each is a separate tank.
Separate tank.
But the spigot coming out is they both flow into it to come out.
So it's like a Y pipe behind there.
Yeah, correct. Right.
And
here are these are the dump.
Just in case some of the viewers don't know, there's two tanks in most of these RVs, and black tank would be toilet waste, and gray tank would be shower waste.
Yeah,
You have them.
It says body waste and liquid waste.
Okay.
Right.
And the hole next to it, I guess, is where you store your waste hose.
Yeah, but I keep it in the back.
Separate.
Because it's never long enough.
No.
Those things are never long enough. The other thing too is when you're doing these things, at least the way I always do it is if I'm going to do the waste tank. These waste tanks, I always do the body fluids first, and then I do the regular, soapy stuff, dishwasher, washer stuff, shower stuff afterwards. The wastewater, it's just the gray water, so it clears out everything.
Sounds like a good tip for our viewers. I see. What are these yellow things under your tires?
Well, this is has a propane refrigerator. It's got a 3-way refrigerator. It's got so it'll run off a connection from a house connection. It'll run off the batteries and DC when you're on the road, when you're driving, or it'll run off propane. When I'm sitting here, I'm running it off propane. So what these do is they level. It's part of the leveling system. This particular vehicle has airbags in the back, but it does not have airbags in the front. So I can level it in the back this way and lift it up this way, but I use these to overall level it depending on the angle of the.
So it'd be not only for your refrigerator, make it run more efficient, it would also be for your drains. I guess if you're parked really crooked.
Yeah, but I'm never gonna, in a vehicle like this, unless it was a 4x4, which is not, I'm not too worried about. I'm always going to be on, a grade that's a mid-grade. I'm not going to be anything too extreme on this thing. Obviously, the engine. It's Dodge 3500. So
what engine do they put in this?
It's a 5.9.
5.9.
Yeah,
okay.
It's the big one. It's the big engine, which is really nice to have. I mean, it's got a lot of oomph, a lot of power.
I see you got some windows up top.
Yeah, these are just they have curtains on them, and basically what they did was on this particular vehicle. Now this vehicle was it's kind of a rare vehicle. It's really tough to get, and I looked for 2 years for this vehicle. It's what I wanted, As you learn about these things and you learn what you need and what you don't need, you change and you learn different things, what you might want and you might not want. I thought this was the penultimate vehicle, and it is a great vehicle. I love it. Okay, but if I was to get something else, there would be certain things that I would probably want different. But the thing is that it has a raised top, and as you can see, it's a gel-coated top. And those are lights for extra light when you're in a sunny area or you want to shade yourself. The nice thing about this is it's got the screens.
You got some privacy with the curtains too.
Well, yeah, the curtains.
Need that.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's got all of that. There are certain things that I need to do to the vehicle, but you can't do everything, so you do things that work for you. I put this up because it was starting to drip inside. The gasket up here is a little bit dried up, so it's no big deal. But that prevents the water from coming in. Basically, you're walking into the vehicle, it'll open up this way. This is an outside shower, so you can use this as an outside shower. This pulls out. It's got about a 15-foot hose on it.
Oh wow!
So you can, what I normally do is I'll put it out over on here on this side, and I'll take a shower that way, which is pretty cool. I'll give you a quick show of it. This is also, here's a cabinet, so you can get it from either end. I got tools. I have a lot of tools in the vehicle because I'm always, you know, fiddling around and doing stuff. So, I mean, basically you just pull this out here. This will go all the way out like this. Now, I have an Oxygenator Head. Now, for people who don't know that, it's a highly efficient head that uses very little bit of water, and basically it gives you a very heavy-duty pulse and flow of water, which is real nice to when you're taking a shower. So what I'll do is I'll put it on here. I'll bring this over. I put this in, which I got from Walmart. Put this like this, like that, and then basically with the Oxygenator, there's your shower.
That's great. I love it.
So it works great, you know. And you know, I'd rather I mean, it has an interior bathroom. You can take a shower. Your vehicle has a really nice setup. You don't really have to. It's not as, you know. You just walk in there and take a shower. It's great. I love it. But this one's a little bit not as convenient. You want to come on in?
Absolutely.
All right. So here's the interior. I don't know where you want to start, but basically it's only me here. It's only me. So what I did was I got a nice mattress for me. I mean, 2 people could fit on here.
Is that a residential, like, twin-size mattress?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I got a regular residential twin-size mattress, and this way I allowed myself to have seating over here as well. You can put a table here, which is real nice.
That's what that socket is on the floor?
Right,
okay.
Yeah, I'll show you. So this goes, so I pull this here, like this, pull this out.
Looks like a pretty heavy table. It looks, back when they built this was a pretty high quality motorhome.
Yeah. And like that, and that's it. So it also gives me more surface to work on. All right. Also have a TV back here, which is cool. You know, which comes out. You know, and you can. Here's the air conditioner I was talking about. So you can see that it's a regular household unit.
That's brilliant. I like that idea.
Yeah, it's much better. You know.
How's the noise level compared to a typical RV air conditioning?
It doesn't bother me.
No.
Well, look, if you're in your house and you put the air conditioner on, is the air conditioner going to be totally silent? Unless you have central air conditioning. But if you're in a room and you have a window unit, usually there's some vibration and some noise. But the fact is that it's a lot cooler than it was before. So that's really what you're concerned with. And I don't really, I'm not the type of person that really needs a lot of air conditioning. So what I'll do at nighttime is I'll open up all of the windows, because they'll have levers on them, or they come up and they have screens on them and everything, so I can open up all the windows, and I'll put a fan like this small fan here on. So I have a few of these. These are brilliant. These are great fans. These are computer fans. So if you can get these, if you're in a van and you can get these computer fans, these are great because they're like, they take no power whatsoever.
Now is that plugged into a USB?
Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay.
You know? So you get a few of these things, and you've got, you know, you get a lot of.
It says O2 cool.
Yeah.
All right.
So it's that kind of thing. Now, you know, as in any kind of situation like this, and Patrick will know, and I guess anybody that's watching that's interested in this will know, every section of the van, every little thing of the van is a place where you to store things, so that you can keep them and then take them out when you need them, but they have to be put back. So every little corner that you have in these particular vehicles, you use it in some way or another. So I have these boxes back here, which are really kind of cool. I use one for my bottles of water, and then I use another one for laundry and that kind of stuff, which is nice.
And then these systems down here on the floor.
This is basically your heater. So if it's cold out, this is the propane heater.
Okay.
And that'll heat up the vehicle. They use uses a lot of propane, but it really heats the place up nice. This is just your electrical system. Your fuse box is all.
So fuses in there, probably a battery charger.
Yeah. The other nice thing about this particular vehicle is that the water tank is inside the vehicle. So that was another thing that I liked about it. The water tank in the ones that I knew about, and the ones that I had before, the water tank was usually outside of the vehicle, underneath the vehicle.
So you can really extend your season, do some cold weather camping.
Yeah, you can definitely, you know, you keep everything warmer. So the water tank, the 25-gallon water tank is in here. Now these are the heaters are in here. Okay, so this is all storage, you know, storage. This is storage, shelves. You know, I put the shelves in. It's one of the things that I did because I don't, you know, if you're in one of these vehicles, you're not wearing a suit.
This was like a hanging shirt locker?
Yeah, you're not wearing a suit and you're not too worried about hanging shirts. You know, you're worried about, you know, what bathing suit you're going to wear. At least that's what you should be thinking about. This?
Solo cup on the ceiling.
This is basically, the thing is, this is an LED light, okay? But it's very bright.
I have that problem in mine.
Okay, so what I did was I just took a cup and put it up here so it directs the light downward. It's a much softer light. And plus the red of the cup gives it a little bit of a glow. And that's it. You know, this is an electronics box. You know, it's got stuff for the DVD, electronics in here.
So when I walked in, I saw an inverter there by the door, but I see another inverter here. Is that a point of use one for maybe
this is
the
just
TV?
That's just a TV and a DVD.
Okay.
You know? I mean, the TV is that you can plug into a regular USB, but the DVD player you can't. So I just hooked it up that way. This is, you know, food storage, that kind of thing. I just pull them out. I got these things here.
These are nice bins. That keeps it quiet maybe when you're driving, so things are around all around.
Plus it keeps it, you know, you pull it out easy. You don't have to go looking all the way in the back. That kind of thing. Fan, you know, I forget the name of the fan. What is it? It's
that looks like a fantastic fan.
Fantastic fan.
And that was their King Deluxe model. It looks like it's remote control.
No, it's not remote control.
No? Rain sensor. I see the sticker there.
Yeah.
Variable speed. We got a thermostat control.
Right.
And motorized lid.
Yeah.
All right. That's their top model from back then.
Back in the day. And this is the bathroom. So it's a gel-coated bathroom. You know,
this is pretty impressive. Now, looking at this, it's all seamless. Where the sink is integrated into the walls.
Yeah, it's all seamless.
Got a stainless steel sink.
Right.
What else we got going on there?
Well, basically that's it. I mean, the way I use it is, you know, I just take that stuff out if I'm going to take a shower. Take the flowers out and I take a shower. That's it. You pull this curtain and you're done. You know?
I guess there's some type of storage underneath the sink.
Yeah, I mean, it's just basically, you know, more toilet papers underneath.
It's got a gasket on it so it doesn't get wet in there.
Exactly.
That's good.
Yeah. I mean, back for the day, it was pretty cool.
And this is just a regular RV style toilet, or?
Yeah. Okay. It's you know, the regular.
Okay, so it's not a composting toilet.
No, it's a black tank.
And you got a little vent on the top?
Yeah, fan and a vent, which is nice to have. If you're taking a shower, it takes all the steam out and whatever else out. And that's it, LED lights all around.
Yeah, they are bright.
Yeah, yeah. And actually, I like the way this is set up. I know some people that have put, you know, one door here, or put a glass door, or they put like a slide. But this is nice because if you're dressing, you can dress back here. You just close this door and you have privacy, which is nice to have. So it's a good setup. I like the setup. This is okay. So just more of the same. I mean, a regular stove.
So all your spices are.
You know, refrigerator's not too much in there now, but probably beer. That's about it.
It looks like a 3 cubic foot.
Yeah, it's really good. But this is the new refrigerator. You know, it's electronic, freeway.
Okay. So all the controls are up top.
Yeah, I mean, it works automatically.
And the cooking situation, 2 burner?
2 burner, yeah. I generally just using 1 burner because I'm usually, you know, when I'm not traveling, it's just as easy for me to go somewhere and have something to eat or get some takeout food or something like that, you know. So I usually do that. But you know, I've got soup, I got hot dogs, I got beer, you know, that kind of thing. You know, snacks, you know, some vegetables if I have it, if I want it. This is more storage. I put my water up here.
There's a lot of storage in this fan.
Yeah, this is just plastic containers, that kind of stuff. This is a convection microwave oven.
Will that run off your inverter system, or you have to run the generator?
No, that runs off the generator.
Okay.
Yeah, you have to have that. That and the AC. Right. Now this table will come out. One of the things that I did do, which anybody that has an Xplorer, if you see this setup and you have this particular setup in Xplorer, And one of the best things I did on this thing for me was to put this seat in, which turns. It's a swivel seat. The Xplorer, what it had was a stationary seat, only that went that way, which really made it kind of limited as to how you could use it. But with this thing, you can go like this, and obviously there's a lot more room in it.
And did it come stock with the front swivel seats?
Yeah, everything here, the front. I mean, this obviously can be removed, so this is movable because when you're driving along. I just keep it up because it's just an extra space for me. Yeah, more storage here. This is okay. These are your controls. These are your black water, gray water tanks. This is your tells you how your battery is and your levels on your tanks. This is the generator. You know, so you go here. Hopefully it'll start.
It's a lot quieter than my generator.
See how quiet that is?
Yeah.
So with the AC, you can hardly, you know, and when you're
they probably cancel each other out.
Pretty much,
noise,
yeah. You know, so and that'll, you know, that powers up, you know, everything you need that for. This is just more storage.
A lot of storage in this.
You know, just more stuff like that. And you know, if I'd have, I mean, if I wanted to, I can put the table back down here, over here. And I can put a couple of mats here, and I can get some more sleeping area if I have somebody that wants to sleep over, or I can do with the
probably be like a queen size bed at that point.
Yeah, or I can turn the seats around. Now we're talking camping out here. We're not talking about, you know, like
it's not a holiday
thing, right? Yeah. So I mean, so basically, you could turn these seats around so that they're facing one another, and you could put a mat in between that. And you could sleep there if you had to as well, which I've done, especially with the kids. This, of course, that's the backup camera. The backup screen.
It looks like up here is the air suspension controls for the rear.
Right, these are the air suspension controls here.
So it's got an onboard air compressor.
You can see, I don't know if you can see that. Yeah, so it's either one of those, right? So you turn the engine on, and you can level out the you know, the vehicle with this, which is very cool. Everything is LED lights. You know, which
I like how you utilized every space. Even the dashboard has stuff on it.
Yeah, I mean, that's what you do, you know. Here's my other 5-gallon can. This is my extra can of water here. And here's something that I do, you know, just to preserve water, because when you're heating up, sometimes I feel like heating up the water. Sometimes I know that I want to wash my body a little bit or something, do, you know, just a quick body wash. So I'll need a little bit more water. So instead of heating water up on the stove to preserve it, because when you know, your supplies are really important when you're doing this stuff. So you have to keep an eye on everything that you use and how you use it. So you try to minimize everything. So when I heat up the water, it takes a few seconds for the water to come into the faucet area when I'm heating up the water. So what I'll do is I'll take one of my pots and you know, put the faucet on and run it and let the water get into the pot before the hot water comes. So then as soon as so that water I'll put in here and put it back into the tank. I mean, it's those silly things that you do, but these are the kind of things that you do to preserve your supplies. So that's because, and I actually found that I'm saving 1 or 2 gallons of water a week easily. Normally you turn the faucet on and wait for the hot water to come in. But if I turn the faucet on and I have a pot underneath it and I put it in here, I'm saving 2 gallons of water. And when you're on the road, 2 gallons of water is a lot.
Do you have any tips for any new people that might be interested in getting a van and living this type of lifestyle? Anything over you have a lot more experience than I do, yeah. That maybe people overlook, or maybe some hassles you might have had throughout your process?
Well, I think one of the things that you want to do more than anything is to figure out what it is that you're actually going to do. Are you going to be staying on the road? Are you going to be traveling around? Where are you going to be? Because you have to think about the supplies that you have. How are you going to carry your water? How much water you think you're going to need? And your energy. So it's the water and the energy. The other thing is, do I want to have a bathroom or do I not want to have a bathroom? Okay, a lot of people, what they'll do is they have a pot and they'll do whatever they have to do within the pot, you know, put it in a bag, they'll bag it and do all that kind of stuff. So the things that and also your sleeping arrangements, how many people do you want? How many people are you going to be? Are you going to be alone? So it's, when you're thinking about it, you also want to have a vehicle that you feel you're going to be comfortable in. I'm like 5'8", so I can fit in pretty much anything, pretty comfortable. But if you're bigger, if you're like 6 foot, you have to take that into account too as to what kind of vehicle you're going to have. So I think your energy supplies, what do you want solar, or do you want to have a generator? Do you want to have a generator that's on the vehicle, or you want to have a generator that you can just like put on the ground somewhere so you can run it, so you can run your generator to run an air conditioner or something? Do you want an air conditioner? So it's the type of life that you're willing to live. Are you going to be alone, or are you going to be with someone? If you're going to be with somebody, then you have to make those kind of decisions as to how it will be to live in a small space with someone. So you want to be easily accessible. One of the reasons I like this one was when I was on the road for 7 months, I was with my girlfriend, and it didn't have a front area where I could sit and like do work or go on my computer or anything like that, which this has. So I found it really difficult in terms of trying to do the things that I wanted to do. And also our sleeping arrangement was different. She would sleep really super early and I would go to sleep later on because I'd like to sit on my computer and do things. So I think it's the first things you have to think about is the space that you want in the vehicle. Is a bathroom going to be important for you? How are you going to take showers? How are you going to provide energy for yourself in terms of being able to charge your computer, charge your phone, and charge the things that you need? Have lights in the vehicle. And do you want to have hot water? So these are all the kind of considerations that you're going to have. Are you going to be in a cold area, or are you going to be in a warm area? And then of course, as I said before, the type of vehicle it is and the space that you have. So, and what it came down to me also is, does the vehicle drive well? Am I going to be comfortable driving this vehicle? Where am I going to go with it? Am I going to go off-road, or am I going to just stay and park in Walmarts and that type of thing? So there's a lot of different considerations and the length of time that you're going to be in the vehicle. So it's a lot of that. I would suggest that you look on YouTube, look at all the different people that have the different vehicles that you might be interested in, and I would really take a good look at that and to see how they do it and what they feel works for them and what doesn't work for them. If you don't have a vehicle with any kind of insulation, or you don't have windows that have screens on them, you're going to find, and you're in a place where there's a lot of mosquitoes at nighttime, and you have to keep the windows closed, you're going to find that the heat inside the vehicle is going to be unbearable, and you're not going to be able to really survive that kind of environment very long in a comfortable way. So that's the other thing. The nice thing about this vehicle is that most of the windows here have screens on them. And I think something that's also very important, and this particular vehicle, one of the things I do not like about this vehicle is the back window doesn't open. It's a huge back window, but it doesn't open. And because of the way they made the vehicle, there's no back door. They removed the back door. I find that having a back door and being able to open the vehicle really allows the air to come in and come through, especially if you're in a hot environment, you're at a beach or anything like that. And I think that's a really important consideration, how much access you have to the open space around the vehicle. It really makes it a lot nicer if you have a lot of fresh air coming in and you have a lot of light coming into the vehicle. So that would be a consideration. One of the modifications that I want to do for this vehicle, if I keep it, is I want to get a window that will open up in the back. I'm going to modify it so that I'll have a big window that opens up so that I can open it up, and also you can. It's just a lot nicer. So that would be another consideration. So I think that it's energy, the kind of supplies that you're going to have in terms of water, your ability to survive on the road. So it's energy, water, food, air, ventilation.
What about safety?
Bathroom.
Safety in regards to securing yourself and your personal items in the motorhome, especially if people are traveling across country going to areas they don't know about crime and how safe they're going to be. I recently read a story online about a couple that was traveling up to Alaska in their van broke down, and they were unfortunately murdered. What do you say anything about safety to be mindful of?
Well, I think that when you develop a sense of what's going to be safe, what's dangerous, and I think it just comes with time and experience. If you're traveling in populated areas, there are always places that you can go where you'll feel more safe, even if you get chased away. If you feel that you need to be somewhere and that you're concerned about your safety and whatnot, but you're afraid that you're going to be chased away because it's an area where they may not want a van in or anything, I would take the chance on being chased away and do that. I mean, there's always Walmart. There's always shopping centers that you can go to. I think you have to be cognizant, you have to be very aware and cognizant of the fact that there is danger out there. I always keep my keys real close to me. I always keep the vehicle at nighttime ready to go so that if I have to jump on in the chair and pull out really quickly, I can do that. So I'll have my keys right next to me somewhere. I'll have the seats and everything configured so I can move quickly. Obviously, you're going to lock your doors. Obviously, if you're going to have, your windows blocked, to tell you the truth, I prefer not to block my windows. All right, because I like to see what's going on around me, and if people are going to be looking in and whatnot, I like to also be able to look out to see what's going on. So, but it depends. If I want to be, generally I'll leave my windows open. A lot of people will put curtains up and stuff like that. At nighttime in the back of the van, you really can't see in back of the van. If you're looking in at nighttime, you really can't see in the back. You can't see if I'm there or not. Now, if I'm not in the van, if I'm not going to be in this van, if I'm going to go, let's say, take a walk, or if I'm going to take a hike or something, I will close it off completely. So nobody knows if anybody's in there or not.
That's a really good tip.
Okay? So when I'm not in the van, I always keep it closed. So nobody can see in. So they're going to think twice before they start trying to get in. And I think if you feel that way too, as well, I mean, obviously if you park somewhere and you have everything all covered, people really don't know if there's anybody in there or not. So and they don't know whether you have a weapon.
The fear of the unknown.
In there. So they're going to be careful about it. But you got to watch where you go. You got to know where you're going, and you got to be prepared.
What inspired you to get into this lifestyle? Because this is a lifestyle. It's not just a van.
I don't know. I mean, what inspired me? I started looking. There was a guy on YouTube we were talking about before called Just Incredible. Just Incredible. If you ever see this, thanks a lot, bro. He had the same van, and there was something about it that was really cool about it. But as I think about it, what happened is that my girlfriend and I, we went to California, and we rented a car, and we were driving up Route 1 in California, and we were going into all these hotels at nighttime. And one day we're on one of the cliff areas over. We were on one of the overlooks. We're looking at the water. We stopped to take a rest, and some family pulls up in a 4x4 Westfalia, which is a Volkswagen with the pop-up top, and it's a 4x4. And they all piled out, and I was like, that is like the coolest thing that I've ever seen before. Okay, how cool is that? And they lived in California, and they were traveling around. I mean, I had known about this stuff before, but I never thought about it. But when you see it, it's like, why would I want to travel any other way? So I got the bug from that point on. And this particular van, the history of this particular van, it is a West Coast van. I bought it in Arizona, which I would, and the reason I did, well, I bought it in Arizona for two reasons. One is Arizona, it's obviously there's no rust. There was no rust on it whatsoever when I got it, and it was a very low mileage vehicle. So, so that was a double, you know, a double plus that I wanted to go out there and get it. Plus, it was what I was looking for. But I just like the idea of being able to go and sleep anywhere I want. I had to go upstate last week to see my daughter, and I had to spend 2 days upstate New York. Right now we're on the Jersey coastline in Ocean Grove, Asbury Park, Ocean Grove. And I went to see my daughter, and I had no qualms about it. It was like, okay, I'm going. I'm out of here. I mean, she called me up. She said, come on up. I said, I'm on my way. And I went up there, and I spent the week up there. I camped out. I went to an RV park. I went driving around. I saw her. It was, you know, I did what I had to do. And it was like, because I know the vehicle so well, and because it's set up for me the way I want it to be, it was really like being home, you know. And I got a chance to camp out a little bit, you know, in an RV park, which was kind of nice. So, and it was spur of the moment. I didn't really have to think about it. I didn't have to make a plan. And I'm sort of like.
So the van's always packed and ready to go.
Yeah, I mean, this van basically it takes about it's always packed and ready to go. There are systems that you have to turn off and put back on. For instance, the refrigerator. You can't leave I don't leave the refrigerator on when I'm gone, obviously, and I leave it open so that it doesn't. There's no mildew or anything involved. It gets inside it because it's used, and it's also hooked up to the electric of the vehicle. So what I'll do is I'll disconnect it from the electrical supply of the vehicle so it doesn't run down the batteries when I'm not using it. But yeah, I mean, but it's pretty much. Everything in this vehicle, I don't have to take out of this vehicle. The clothes that I have in this vehicle are the clothes that I'm going to use when I'm in this vehicle. So there's nothing that I have to, you know.
See, I'm new at this, and pretty much everything you said is dead on with exactly what I do. I have clothes specifically that I use in my camper van.
Yeah, right.
So I don't have to unpack and pack stuff.
Yeah, I mean, you know, so. And, you know, the clothes that you're going to wear generally are going to be very casual. I have if I have to do something which is less than casual, up a little bit, I have some clothes that I can wear to look, you know, proper if I'm going out to a proper dinner or something like that, you know. But very few. Most of them is just shorts, sneakers, sandals, that kind of thing. You know, but I've got a good pair of boots, a good pair of pants. That's all you need, you know, and that's it.
What about insurance? You just have a regular RV insurance policy?
Well, I have the RV insurance policy, which is fairly inexpensive for some reason or another. I don't really quite understand why, but it's not very expensive. And then I have another policy for road service, which is great. I mean, if you're going to be in a vehicle like this, you want road service. You want towing service, because you never know. There's always something that happens. I was on the road and I had a fuel pump issue. So they literally had to put this vehicle is, when you put this vehicle on a flatbed truck, it looks pretty big. You know, it's like, okay, that's not a car, you know. So I had the road service, so I would definitely recommend having road service. There's no question about it.
And any tips for internet, needing internet on the road? Anything that you came up with that from learning from people online or just from usage?
Well, again, the places, my lifestyle in this van is, I hate to say that I'm a weekender, but I'm more like a weekender now, even though I've just spent 3 weeks in here. It's not really a weekender, but I'm in an area where there's internet. I'm not out in the middle of Nevada somewhere, you know, where I'm gonna have problems with it. I think that that's another thing that you want to think about. What, how your internet needs, what you're going to require from the internet and what you're going to, require to use. I actually work every morning for about 4 hours. I actually work every morning on my computer. So I have a laptop, not a laptop, I have an iPad that I use, and I do my work on that. And it's got a regular, it's cellular, so I don't have to worry about that. I have a cellular program with my iPad, so whatever work that I need to do, I can do via the cellular signal. I don't have to worry about Wi-Fi, which is nice to have. But also it has a hotspot and that type of thing. If I was to go out on the road, there would be certain, like I know a few people that do it, and they'll have Verizon, they'll have Sprint, they'll have AT&T, they'll have a couple of programs that they have so that wherever they're in, whatever area they're in, one of those will generally work the best for them. But that's if you're going to be on the road for a long time. There are things that you can get there that will draw in signal even more. They'll strengthen the signal, a Wi-Fi signal. I don't have any of that, but if I was to go on the road and I was going to go West Coast, and I have been on the West Coast with this, and I generally don't have that much of a problem, but and also there are also places that they'll have Wi-Fi, so you can get the signal. If you really need to get a signal, you need to get onto the internet, you can go to supermarkets, like there's Public, and there's a few other supermarkets out on the West Coast where they'll have a Wi-Fi signal, or a Home Depot, they'll have a Wi-Fi signal, or you'll find places, different stores that have Wi-Fi signals. You park outside of it and you can use those Wi-Fi signals. You want to watch a movie, you can do that as well. So you learn to adjust. But if I was to go on the road seriously now, I would make it so that I would be assured that I could get a Wi-Fi or a signal wherever I am. So whatever equipment I would need to do, I would get that.
Any final thoughts you want to share with our viewers? Maybe some of them are going to have probably questions. I know these are pretty heavy vans, but about fuel economy and how that plays into this type of lifestyle.
Well, like we were talking before, you have. So I'm retired, even though I still work. I'm retired from what I did, but I work every day, so I generate a little bit of money that way. But I think that some people, it's not that much of an issue, because you're saving money on having, if you're going to be traveling around, you're saving money by being on the road, eating in, cooking, and sleeping, your sleeping arrangements. So you're not spending that money that you would normally spend, but you do need to make some money. What was the question again?
About fuel economy, because I know a lot of people
yeah.
are building out these new Ford Transits and the Mercedes Sprinter chassis, and they get pretty good fuel economy, anywhere from 16 to 20 miles per gallon. This is an older Dodge, and I have an older Ford. I get 6 to 7 miles per gallon.
Well, I get around 11 to 13.
That's not bad. That's pretty impressive for a van of this weight and size.
Yeah, 11 to 13 is not bad.
Pretty impressed.
And also it's how you drive.
Mm-hmm.
And it also depends on your elevation. So if you're in the higher elevations and you're going up high hills and stuff like that, here is definitely something that everyone should know about. I mean, that I think is a good tip. If you know that you're going to be transversing areas where there's going to be lots of different elevations and whatnot, what I would normally do is not fill up your fuel tank. Figure out how far your gas is between each other. Figure out how far you can go with the gas you have. Keep it half a fuel tank. Don't fill up your fuel tank, and don't fill up your water. So you want to lighten the load with fuel and water if you're going up a lot of steep grades and that kind of stuff, because actually what that's going to do is that's going to help you get better gas mileage, and it's going to help you get over the grades that you have to get over, because with all of that weight, it really makes it a big strain on some of these engines.
Excellent, Ken. I really appreciate you spending the time with our viewers here to give a tour of your van, and some of your personal experience and sharing your thoughts on how you use the van and what you've learned in this lifestyle. And I really thank you today.
Well, I appreciate you having me on. Never expected, expected it. You walked up to me, and it's like, I hope that it's helped somebody.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Well, this is Patrick with New Jersey's Outdoor Adventures YouTube channel. Hope you enjoyed this video. Please like this video, comment, share, subscribe. I'd love it, and I'll see you soon.